What's going on, y'all? Today we're going to be reacting to a video from a lady titled I'm 57 and broke. So I haven't seen it, so let's just go ahead and jump right into it, shall we?
Hey everybody, I am recording this in my car, which I don't record in my car very often. I usually will do it at home with a full setup, but I wanted to jump on. And as you all know, one of my slogans is truth, transparency, and triumph. And I have, been wanting to share things, but it is difficult because I battle with who's going to watch it. Is my family going to see this? Are those quote unquote so-called friends or my foes, whatever, going to see this? But I also say, which is my tagline, I tell my truth without shame and guilt so you can tell yours. Well, I'm going to start here. I've been trying to figure out where to start. I pre-recorded originally a video about me and the first guy that I dated in college, and I scrapped all of that because it was really, the way I did it was boring. I was bored with my own video. But I don't know how long this is going to be, but like I'm in my car. I'm actually at work, and this is during lunchtime. And I said, Celeste, if you don't do it now, you won't do it. It has been really tough for me, and because of some decisions that I have made that I regret making. I always talk about Atlanta, and I feel like when I left my corporate job, making a good salary, and decided to chase a dream, thinking everything would fall into place, things would be in order, my life blew up. It has not been the same in 3 years. And I've had a lot of thoughts around it, and I may talk longer than I need to, but so I'm sorry, and I might have to break this up. But today was a hard day.
Y'all, before she starts breaking down, let me address this because this is like a new trend that is going on where people will leave their jobs, their comfortable jobs, and decide they want to focus on a dream that is still not proven yet, right? They still have no proof of concept, but they're leaving their stable job in order to take a leap. And what I really feel like that is people just don't want to, in most cases, most people, not saying that's her situation, but most people really just don't want to do that uncomfortable thing, which is doing both, and which is after they clock out, clocking back in. And that's really where this comes down to. They want to be able to take that risk that could possibly change their entire life, but they want to do it comfortably. They want that to be their new full-time job now. And they want to feel like what they say, entrepreneurs. But it don't work like that. You know, if you want to do something phenomenal, if you want to do something extraordinary, then you're going to have to do some extraordinary things, some extraordinary actions, and you're going to have to make some sacrifices. So let's keep hearing her out, but I just wanted to mention that because this is something that I am seeing a lot more today.
Reality is something else. I recognize that most of it is my doing and undoing. And honestly, I really want God to wave a magical wand and take me back to the day I was going to resign and listen to the advice I was given. But I didn't because I think I'm grown and I have the answers. And I found out I don't. I used to say I would want to go back before that bad relationship out of college. And I'll talk about that. But I don't want to go back that far. I just want to go back 3 years. The scary part about it is, even if I had made what I thought would be the perfect decisions, it doesn't mean anything would have ended up differently. I still could have been in this predicament. I didn't see this coming. I thought I had prepared.
So two things there. First, she had people in her corner that were giving her good advice, which was don't leave your job until your side thing is able to actually take the place and replace your job, right? Because you're grown, you still have responsibilities, you still have bills at the end of the day. But she didn't listen. Like she said, she wanted to do what she wanted to do, and she was willing to handle whatever comes behind that. But maybe not, because now you're complaining, right? Because she said, either way, the decision could have still turned out this way. Well, there's always got to be balance in the force. So if the decision could have still turned out bad, then that also means that the opposite is true and that the decision could have also turned out good in your favor. So we can't discount that, you know. I think she's just saying that to make herself feel better because she chose the wrong path, right? I think instead of looking at it like that, I would say the right decision was to stay at your job, but to do both. You could have had your cake and ate it too. It just would have required you to invest a little bit more of your time. You would have had to, be more disciplined and maybe even a little uncomfortable. But this is where we ended up. So let's continue.
And evidently I didn't, which makes me think about a couple of things. Okay, so what happened was, let me just go back. When I left my corporate job, I was 54, I believe, 53, 54. And I'm on the latter half of my life. And sometimes I think and ask myself, what was I thinking? Was it really that important to you? Could you not have just kept it going and done this later? But I didn't. So I stepped out. I believed everything would fall into place and I would be okay. And y'all, when God tells you something, listen and be obedient to it. And I didn't. And I know that is part of the reason I'm having issues today. When I left to go to Atlanta to pursue.
Let's see if she clears this up. Maybe she did already, but I'm wondering, is this from when she was younger and then all the way till now? So did that decision affect her for like decades? Is she saying that that one decision was a crossroad that led her to being 57, almost 60 years old and broke? Or was this like a more recent decision? I'm curious. I would assume she's saying that this was a younger decision, and basically that was the turning point in her life, which I feel like could you have just gone back to your corporate job or getting another one? But I guess she committed to it, possibly. But let's see if she actually clears that up.
Acting, I kept hearing, you're not going to need to look for a job. You're not going to need to look for a job. And unbeknownst to me, he had something waiting for me. Before I left, someone here in Memphis connected me to somebody in Atlanta about, working a job. And I started going through the process, the interview, filling out the application, and able to do the job. It was something that was right up my alley. Unfortunately, I allowed myself to I self-sabotaged. And I said, you know what? I can't do this job. I'm going to be acting. I don't know when I'll need off, when I'll do this, A, B, C, and D. Made an excuse because I'm thinking it's going to be okay. You'll get someplace steady, consistent. You'll be able to take off when you need to and so forth. Because I'm thinking, I don't want to interrupt or get anybody else in trouble. If I had been a little bit more wise and I guess maybe selfish, I would have taken the job without question. That was in October of 2022, rolling into November. I did not find a job until.
Okay, so this is fairly recent. And so she had another crossroads now, another point where she could have made a decision to get back in, right, to work in a regular job and get some stability and some sustainability. But again, she chose, it really sounds like she self-sabotaged herself. She got in her own head and she decided to stay on the wrong path because that's also a decision. Not correcting a false decision is a decision, right? So she's made a few decisions here already and she's on a bad streak.
Uh, oh my gosh, September of 2022, almost a whole year. I hustled. I drove DoorDash. I did Amazon deliveries. I worked overnight at Walmart. I did everything I could. And I'm sorry, y'all. I did it's called InstaWork, everything I could. And then I also ended up withdrawing my pension and my retirement because I just didn't have enough money. And this is not how I expected things to go. I really didn't, because I'd always landed on my feet. And this is the first time I had not. So I went and I finally got a job and was working at a company. I talked to them, told them I did acting. Every now and then I might need some time off. Because, I wasn't doing like big time. I wasn't gone all the time. It was fine. They hired a manager who had a problem with it. And she didn't want to give me any additional opportunities. She had issue with me. And I'm a worker. I'm dependable. Most of the time I was there and I would look around and I would see other people not showing up for work, leaving early, coming late. And that's not how I work. I'm going to be on time. I'm sorry. I'm going to be on time. I'm going to work my butt off. I'm going to help you. I'm going to support you. I'm going to leave I'll leave at my designated hour if I don't have anything else hanging or, over. I eventually ended up leaving in April because she was riding me. I was like, I am not going to put up with this. Well, sorry, was checking to see if someone else was there, but I ended up finding another job. I was working Amazon in the warehouse. Did that for a while. I actually enjoyed it. Yeah.
So I'm not understanding. Maybe I missed something. But she left her corporate job, which was possibly a good job, but I mean, corporate jobs do require a lot of mental capacity, right? They do require a lot from you mentally. Whereas it sounds like now she started working more dead end jobs where are going to require more of you physically. So I don't know if that was strategic, but she probably should have just stayed at her corporate job, if you ask me, or tried to get back into it because now she's working at Walmart, she's working at Amazon. I'm waiting. It sounds like she's just working at all the issue joints.
I enjoyed it. And eventually got another job. Okay, that was April. In July, started a new job in July 10th. It was a contract to hire position. So I was getting on my feet and everything. And I felt bad because my goal was the young lady I was living with, I was only going to be there a year. And I ended up being there the whole time, minus maybe a couple months, few months. Because what ended up happening, I got my job, I was getting on my feet. I was like, I want my own place. Moved out, and the place I moved into was roach infested. And I thought, okay, maybe this is a fluke. I'm seeing a few. They terminated. It's probably been empty a while. But no. Y'all, I slept in my bedroom, tried to cover the door so they couldn't get in. It didn't matter. They got in. I woke up one morning and there was some crawling up the wall. And I thought, I can't do this. I had ordered furniture and I had to cancel that order. I never unpacked, and then I had to unpack when I got ready to leave. And I finally was like, I've had enough of Atlanta. Nothing's working out. I'm broke. I can't seem to get on my feet. I'm not bouncing back. I was stressed. I thought, I'm going home, and I had been talking.
That ain't it, ladies. This don't sound like it's it at all. So she's going through it, right? By her perspective. Because to me, that's not going through it. See, us fellas, it's a little different, right? We're built a little bit different, right? Like even me, if I'm in my grind mode and I'm trying to get on my feet, man, I don't care about no roaches. We're gonna be in that mode together. Shoot, cohabitating. You know what I'm saying? I just need somewhere to lay my head and get some rest so that I can get up and do it all over again. But see, she's going through it. You know, I haven't heard of like she kind of mentioned it at the beginning about a boyfriend, but other than that, she hasn't spoke about like any romantic relationship or anything to try to get some help in that aspect, right? Try to partner with somebody. It sounds like it would be in her interest. And maybe then if she was with like a man or something like that, she could have he could have maybe supported her if, you know, they both talked about it in that vision that she has, her dream. If it does kind of make sense and it does seem like it can practically work, then maybe he can kind of support you while you test it out and see if that can take you to that next level. But this ain't it. She working Walmart. She doing Amazon delivery. She's sleeping with the roaches. I mean, she seems like a nice lady, just from looking. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't want her. I don't know if she's a mother or anything like that, but you don't want your mama or your grandma sleeping with the roaches.
Talking to my sister and everything. And I hate it because I felt like I quit too soon and I gave up, but I did not. I felt as if I didn't have a choice. So I talked to my employer and she said I could work remote if I committed for 2 years. Y'all, when you get ready to make
Damn.
a major decision, talk to God first. Because you can talk to people and they will talk you out of what you asked God
God
for. Because I
dang.
asked God specifically if
I ain't never heard nothing like that. They what happens if you don't stay for 2 years? Oh my goodness. That she was just all bad. Just making bad decisions, bad deals. I've never heard of it before. That sounds like slavery. You have to commit to a job for 2 years. That's a setup. Soon as you commit for 2 years, they can do you however they want to. They got you. Let you break that covenant if you want to. I guarantee you that it wasn't the same way on their side. I guarantee you they can still fire at will, but you have to stay. You have to commit to stay. Like, what is the penalty if you don't? I didn't even know you could do that. They got to regulate that. That doesn't sound good.
I could have a job, I could work remote, I could stay with this company, and I could move back to Memphis. Well, in my ear, and then even me, so I can't blame it on them because it was my final decision. I decided not to work remote. I regretted that because I'm thinking I'll go back to my old company. That did not happen. And I'm still not there. I've been back since August of 2024 and it is, what month is it? This is February of 2025. I applied for several positions and I have enough rejection emails from them. If I printed them out, I could wallpaper at least one wall. I am not going back. I don't know what's on my file, but they are not hiring me back, period. So I've had to live with that. Before I left, my boss told me, don't leave. But I left anyway. Much regret. But here I am, February, and I realized, oh, I'm sorry, back in August, I moved in with someone, and it was not the ideal situation. I had conversations with this person before, and I should have gone with what I knew. In the beginning, the person didn't want me to move in, and I should not have. Eventually, she opened up her doors to me, and it wasn't horrible, but there were challenges. Um, and there are other things I won't discuss, but there were challenges. But she allowed me. We set our rent. She was very kind about it and everything because I was still looking for a job. So I just tried to make sure I could give her, what we agreed upon every month. And I did. I got here. I door dashed. I did anything.
Okay, so it sounds like she's about to get into possibly not even being able to pay her rent or whatever. But she must have had a high-ranking corporate position if a job is trying to dangle the remote work as far as like leverage to say, okay, we'll let you work remote, but you have to commit to us for 2 years, you know. So it's possible she really fumbled the bag for real. If she was like high up in corporate, and you see she couldn't even go back to her old position. Because now if she is in a leadership position, now they have to question her leadership decisions. Because they're like, you trying to leave here to do what? To follow your dreams. You know what I'm saying? I feel like you should, like I said, ultimately, my point in this is you should be able to do both, right? I love the quote, if you want to get something done, give it to a busy person, right? A busy person will get it done than a person with all the time in the world because you're just firing on all cylinders, right? If somebody wanted to get something done, I'm busy. Give it to me. I'll knock it out. I'll have it done probably that next hour. But enough about me. We're going to leave it there. It's a pretty long video. If you guys want me to finish it out, leave a comment, let me know. But like the video, I need that. Also, subscribe if you want to join the Limitless Legion. Also, want to take a look at some of my self-improvement content. Cash App's linked in the description if you want to buy your boy iced coffee. And join the Patreon. I got videos up there, and I will be posting frequently. But until then, I will catch you guys in the next video.